Thank you so much to our student guests today, and of course our guest speakers, Dr. McFarland, our professor of marketing, and Miss Kim Roxy. A little bit about Miss Kim Roxy's background. She is the founder and CEO of Lamique Beauty, which is a clean beauty brand that caters to multicultural women. After opening her own shop at the age of 21 with a $500 investment, she ran that store for 14 years and was the youngest African-American woman to have her products carried in a major department store. In 2019, Ms. Roxy pivoted her business and launched Lamique as an e-commerce beauty company. In 2020, she secured a partnership with an augmented reality company to launch a tech-enabled website that allows consumers to digitally try on cosmetics. Like, that's so cool. She has received numerous awards, including the Barack Obama Lifetime Achievement Award for community service, one of the Houston Business Journal's 40 Under 40, one of the American Business Journal's most influential young executives, and one of the 30 Black Stars by Face to Face Africa. The city of Houston formally named June 23rd as Kim Roxy Day in her honor. So awesome, so amazing. We're so happy to have you. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm gonna turn it over to Dr. McFarland.
Well, thank you very much, Megan. Thank you very much, everyone, for connecting. And thank you very much, Kim, for accepting our invitation to be here with us today. I think it's a very important conversation what we're going to have today, and we really appreciate that. This is something that we look forward every semester. We started this series a year ago, and so we're happy to continue this with one of the best in the beauty industry. Actually, Megan read a very impressive resume. I was going to do that, but I'm glad that she did. Very impressive resume in the entrepreneurship world, and that's why everybody can see why we invited Kim here. So I want to start this conversation, Kim, with, I was going to ask you to introduce yourself, but we know about you already. So I want to start asking you, how and when did you start in this world of entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so Dr. McFarland, thank you for the invitation. Thank you, Megan, and thank you, everyone, for inviting me here. I'm so ecstatic and grateful. So I started, as Megan mentioned, at 21 on entrepreneurship journey, full-time. And I had recently just graduated from college. And I basically made myself a job. I didn't have any interviews or sort of internships that were going to lead into a position. I was really pretty sad at the time. So when I was thinking about opening up the business, it wasn't like, oh, I'm open. Initially, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm opening up a business, hoorah. It was more like, oh, I got to open up a business because I don't have any job leads. And so I kind of felt a little bit like a failure. And this was my only other resort.
But why to be an entrepreneur? Why not to go and get some interviews or get a position first? Why to start right away after college? Why not to wait?
Yeah, well, at my school, our motto in college was find a way or make one. And the resumes were not getting me any callbacks that I was submitting. And I think about 5 years before this, I actually was expelled from high school. I actually was kicked out of high school at 16. Okay. And so I sort of had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder too, because I was labeled at risk. I remember the teachers calling us that. And I was told that I was not even going to be accepted into a real university. And so I applied anyway to my one dream school I wanted to go to, and I got accepted. And if I would have listened to everybody, then I wouldn't have even applied. And so when I think about entrepreneurship and why not get a job, I ask the other question, why not start the business? Like, I don't have nothing to lose. But, but to try it and to take that risk. And the fact that I was labeled at risk, I think that it built this like sort of risky sort of spirit in me that maybe what other people would be more conservative about or what have you. I'm probably more aggressive in taking those risks because one, I'm always trying to prove that I'm not, my past mistake from when I was 16. But on top of that, I can take those risks and I'll take that label and use it to become a success.
I like that what you said. Why not to start a business instead of asking why not to look for a job first?
Yes. Yes.
But you need to have a mindset, right? You need to have a way of thinking.
Yes.
Because you said, I don't have anything to lose. Why not to start a business? Well, I would tend to think that, and I'm an entrepreneur myself,
Yes.
and I love this world too.
Yes.
But I would tend to think I was an employee first, that I have more to win when I graduate college because I'm gonna make money for sure. It will be less uncertain if I'm gonna get, an income versus being an entrepreneur. Yes, you don't have anything to lose, but probably you won't make money right away. So didn't that scare you? Or were you afraid of that, not making money right away?
Actually, I probably was too ignorant to be scared. I didn't know to be scared. I didn't know that I was not going to make any money. Like I hadn't went to business school or anything like that. So I didn't run any projections or anything like that. So I didn't know not to be scared. So I think that sometimes the fear is actually taught to us, or the thought that like won't make money. I opened up my store. I had the budget that I put together. It was just enough to get the store open. So it took $10,000. I saved up $9,500. My mom gave me $500. And when I opened up my store, all of the $10,000 was gone. Well, like the first couple of days, I was like, wait, nobody's coming in. I'm not making any sales. Wait, I don't have any money left. Like, so if I don't make any sales this month, then I won't be able to pay the rent the next month to be able to stay here. So I started walking to the food court. This is like my first time when I opened up the first store. I walked to the food court and I went and got customers and brought them to my store and made sales and started to do that. Like, I had no money in the bank, like when I opened up their store. So I had to start getting sales. And then I was able in that first month to make enough that I got back up to the $10,000 again and started going. So I think, again, I was too ignorant to think about, I won't make money. I think my thought was I will make money.
So you were determined to get money in order to pay your bills, right? So I like that. I never heard that, but it makes sense. Not being scared of uncertainty is key in the mindset of an entrepreneur. Or learn how to manage fears, right?
Yeah.
The fear.
And I was about to say, and sometimes you're taught fear. You're taught to be scared. And
how is that?
Well, they tell you, again, they tell you things like, well, you probably, nobody would have told me if I told them I'd only have enough money to open up the store. Anybody would have told me don't do it yet. Because you need to wait, you need to have 3 months or 4 months in advance of it. But that's not what I did. And so I would have been taught not to take the risk.
Ah, interesting. Okay. You're right.
So
you're right.
We're taught to de-risk, not take the risk.
Agree. You're right. I never saw it from that perspective, but you're right. You're right. Let me go back in time. So you started after college, right after college, and you've been having or operating the same business since then, or you changed business, or you started different projects?
Yeah.
So how was that? Is the same business that you have today what you started a long time ago, or?
So it has evolved. So my first business was a makeup shop, brick and mortar, that I ran. Did that for 14 years. Then in 2018, I closed that down and pivoted and launched what I call Lamique 2.0, a new version of my business. And I launched it in just the product itself. The Lamique product was birthed out of the store. But I took the product itself and that's the business now. And so
So you don't have shops? You don't have a store or anything?
No, we are all e-commerce. We are a tech-enabled makeup brand now, beauty brand. We're tech-enabled. And I am a founder now in regards to that. And we're e-commerce, we're online. We're also, now have distribution in the with the largest beauty specialty retailer, Ulta.com. And we are growing this high growth business versus before I had more of a small business sort of deal. Now I'm growing more of a sort of like tech startup growth, stage company.
That's very interesting. Why after 14 years, you didn't feel comfortable? You didn't like it anymore? You saw more opportunity in the type of business you have today? Why to close after 14 years of putting a lot of effort and suffering probably in this, in your first business? Why to close it? How to make that decision to close your baby?
Yeah, because it was time. I was at that place again where it kind of reminds me of when I was 21, that time where I wanted something, I wanted more, but I didn't know how to get there. So I knew that I wanted to have this, I wanted to make this a tech-enabled beauty brand, but I didn't even know how to do it. That's when I knew it was the right time. It's so funny, it's like but I had this like dream and this vision for it. And I felt so confident around it. And so like, it's time to take that risk again. And I was willing to close down the old way of doing things. I was willing to let it all go just for this new way I saw things.
What was your inspiration to say, I want to move into a more tech type of business? You look after somebody, or what was your inspiration at that moment?
My customers. I just started to see the trend in the way things are working. Women particularly were not being serviced properly at like the department stores and places like that with buying makeup. And I started to do research. I started to look at the cosmetic industry and the beauty industry, and I started to see companies get acquired, companies grow. And I was like, how are they doing that? Like how? And I was looking out, and all of a sudden, all these articles started coming out talking about 75% of beauty products marketed to women of color are toxic. And I was like, but I know how to create a non-toxic makeup line. And so I was like, we need my products out there. we need to do that. And so that was my inspiration, my customers, my mission of Lamique, bringing equity to the beauty industry.
Yes.
Because women of color spend 80% more on cosmetics. So we spend more on makeup, but you're serving us all the crap. You're marketing us all the crap. And then we're only getting about 3 to 5% of the retail shelf space, when we really should be getting more like 15 to 20% of the retail shelf space. So that's why I just had to do it.
Yes, that's very inspiring. And actually, let me read what I found about your company today,
Yes.
La Make Beauty, and I love this. This is where beauty is revealed, not applied, where you get love and makeup in kindness.
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
explain this? Why beauty is revealed, not applied? Why love and makeup in
And
kindness?
kindness. Yeah. So LAMIK is that acronym that stands for love and makeup and kindness.
Okay.
When you think about it, love and kindness is your true makeup. That's the beauty. That's like the thing. It could be anybody, man, woman, child. You show that love and kindness, a person is going to feel more beautiful around you, more seen, more handsome, whatever way you want to put it. They're going to feel better around you just because you're showing them love, you're showing them kindness, however that is, whether you let them step in front of you in line or you like pay for their coffee, right? Like either way, that's just a form of love and kindness. And that's your true makeup, I believe. And that beauty is revealed, not applied. That means that, you know, it's a little bit of an oxymoron because it's like, okay, it's makeup. Isn't it making you beautiful? No, we're revealing your beauty. With LAMIK, we're here to just remind you that you have everything that you need to be beautiful, to be successful inside of you already. And stop looking outward to try to get something to make you what you already are. Look
I love
inward.
that. I
Yeah.
love that. So
Yes.
everybody has a beauty inside
Yes.
them. You
Yes.
just helping your market, your customer, society to discover and to let this beauty out
Yes.
and not to
Yes.
cover the beauty.
No,
Right.
no, not to cover your beauty, not to cover your talents, not to cover your skills, not to cover your uniqueness. And so it's just the overall message for us all.
That's beautiful. I love that. When I read that, I said, she knows the beauty industry. She
Yeah.
knows what beauty is. And this is very important. And with this, I want to ask you, well, two questions. What is it that you study in college? What is your major in?
So my major in college was communications with a concentration in public relations.
In public relations. But did that help you, or has that helped you today
Yeah.
in your business?
Yeah, it
How?
has. Because like I probably wouldn't be with you right now if it wasn't for PR, right? It's
Uh-huh.
when you Google our business name, when you Google my name, you're going to see a lot of press and a lot of articles, and you're going to see some interviews, and you're going to see all of that stuff. And I, you know, that I think comes from that part of me that understands PR, that understands storytelling. I'm always storytelling with our brand, and that's really what it's about. Because when you have a startup, when you have a business, you have to be able to communicate what your business is, especially as the leader of your business. And so I think that, you know, that PR background that I have and everything has really has done us well. Has really been an attribute to the company.
That's I agree with you. That's very important to learn how to how to communicate with your target market, with your customer, how to send a message.
Yeah,
And that will help you the brand, the positioning of your brand, right? And with this,
absolutely.
I want to ask you, what other skills do you need to be an entrepreneur? From your perspective, from your experience, you say, well, I didn't know anything. Probably the fact that I didn't know anything, that's why I was not scared of being an entrepreneur. But what are the skills that young people should learn? Because you were very young, 21 years old or 16 years old, very young. What are the skills now, many years after that, that you have learned that an entrepreneur will need? Hard skills and then soft skills.
And I'll say this with that, Bill Gates, everybody know who Bill Gates is, the chairman of Microsoft. He said, he was once quoted, if I was down to my last dollar, I would spend it on public relations.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so just keep that in mind when we talk, when I said, sometimes people can look at your degree or what you did and say, does that really matter? And it does. Even Richard Branson said publicity is absolutely critical. A good PR story is infinitely more effective than a front page ad. Okay.
Agree.
So this is the thing, the other thing that I credit for your question is like grit, just straight up grit. GRIT, it's the thing that, you don't need all the resources to get the job done. And that has a lot to do with it. Look, Black women on average only raise 0.006% of venture capital funding. And there's billions of dollars that are given out to companies or that are invested, in companies. And Black women only get 0.006% of the billions of dollars of venture capital that's invested. So there's less than 100 Black women who have raised venture capital for their high growth companies, for their startups, for their tech enabled or tech companies. So already the statistics are sort of stacked, right? Against. So you got to have grit to then be able to overcome that. And what about if you never overcome it? What about, if you don't raise the money that way? What is the other ways you'll be grit? You'll have the grit to be able to work the resources to still be able to do what you want to do with your business in another way, not from the traditional way, right? And so having that grit, being able to dig deep in the hard times, and not be so disappointed that it stops you, is something I think that's very important. Understanding, when it comes to like skill sets around business, sometimes, and this might sound funny because we're in tonight. Okay, just I'll get back with you. Okay. Okay, that'll be fine. The other part is, and you got, if I can negotiate with a 5-year-old, I can do anything. So that's my daughter. But also nice. in academia, being educated and knowing different things is great. So knowing you're being financially astute and understanding how to do projections and all of that is really important. Understanding marketing is really important. But I'll tell you this, you can know all of those things, but if you are not an executor, it doesn't matter.
You're not an executive, right? You need to execute. Not only have the knowledge, but you have to learn how to execute. So what is it that you need for that? Because seems like you need to have hard skills, like knowing about finance, knowing about marketing, communication. But what about the soft skills to execute, with success? What are those advices that you can give to us?
Well, in your business, if you want to have a real business, you work on your business and not particularly just in your business. So you have to know how to hire people, so the soft skills really come from being able to identify and being able to understand like the culture that you want to build at your company and bringing in team members that bring that culture and that sense of whatever type of community you want for your company to then be able to grow. Being able to sort of, any kind of partners, employees, contractors, vendors, being able to, that soft skill of being able to like build relationships is really important. So a good way to practice on that is with anybody around you. Okay, that's okay. Okay, tell them I'll be right there in 5 minutes. Tell them to leave the package. Go tell them to leave the package. So I would say that, and because you will not be able to just know everything to get through life and not make any mistakes and all of that. That soft skills part also comes from knowing that you're going to fall sometimes, but you'll get back up and it's going to be okay.
And I want to ask you about this last part. You're going to fail, but you're going to be okay. How to manage failure? Have you failed?
Yes.
What type of failures?
All the time.
You look very happy, like you've been always successful, just ups and not downs.
Well, again, I think it's taught. I think it's taught that when you fail, you shouldn't be happy. I fail all the time, and I'm very happy.
So attitude then.
Yes.
Attitude is how you manage a failure.
Yes.
But
So
don't you feel sometimes like, I'm not making it, I'm not getting there, I'm not getting my objectives, I'm not making the money I was expecting, I'm not getting the sales? Don't you feel sometimes like wanted to, to step back and probably quit doing this because it's very challenging?
That's why I recommend journaling. I just, and I mean, from writing to video, I just recorded a video yesterday. I was in tears because, something, I got some sort of like kick down news and I felt like a failure. But my video, I expressed my feelings, but also in that video, I said, all of these things are going to work together though. This is going to come back around, or this needed to happen to make sense for the next thing. Kim, just hold on like 1 more year, or hold on 6 more months. Just understanding that that's the way it's going to be. That's why I like to record. So I'm really big about the journey because these things are going to come. Yes, you're going to be frustrated. Yes. I like literally just posted about this. So I put on social media yesterday too. I made a post about exactly what you're talking about. I was thinking to myself yesterday, am I built for this?
Hi,
Right?
this is Quinita Qualls,
And
calling
so,
from Huston-Tillotson HR, trying to reach Dorian.
hello.
When you get an opportunity, please give me a call back at 512-50.
Probably. Okay,
All right.
there you go. So I was literally just thinking about this, and I was going through this, and I made a post about it. But back to what I said, like I've been around long enough to know that, like, for me, all things work together for good. You gotta wait, some patience in that to figure out when that thing, when things come together and turn around. Because also in the same day, there's a stakeholder who I thought, didn't particularly like me, right? Don't you know this person who I just had the thought about earlier today that was like, I don't think they like me. I can't go to them about the strategic partnership I wanted to do. I've had somebody call me that knew them and said, hey, I want such and such to call you for this such and such reason. And the same person I had thought about earlier that day that said they did not like me was calling my phone looking for my advice on something else. I'm like, oh my gosh. I had just thought about this person a year ago thinking, I can't start this strategic partnership with them. This is something I want to work on. And I was like, I know they don't really they don't really like me like that. I don't think they're really into it. And come to find out, I had the link to this person, I can get whatever I want from them right now, right? And so my point is this, just because it's like this today doesn't mean it'll be like that tomorrow.
Agree. Yeah, there are some tough times sometimes in the entrepreneurial life. I remember I received this eviction note one day because I couldn't pay the rent and I didn't know what to do. Being in a country that is, I'm not from here, I'm from Mexico, but is when you ask yourself, should I continue in this or look for another job or, do something else? Because this is tough. Receiving this type of notifications, eviction notification is not easy. So what you're saying is true. You have to have this attitude. That's part of the mindset. That's what I'm getting from you. I'm liking this positive attitude and thinking that it's not to be, very optimistic. It's just that you need to have this attitude to start being resourceful, to start looking in ways of how to solve the issue that you're going through, right? And this will give you clarity in what to do, to solve the problem, right?
Yes. And guess what, Dr. McFarland, we watch movies, we watch documentaries. If there was no failures and losses and problems and things to work through, stories, the story wouldn't even be good. Nobody wants to hear a story where everything just went perfect and went perfect and went perfect and everything went perfect, because that's not nobody's life. or nobody's business. So I just have to start my mindset for mindset purposes, because a lot of entrepreneurs actually suffer from mental health issues because it's a really lonely road a lot of times. You can have a team, you can have all of that, but it's just isolating because you can't express all your problems to your team. You don't want to scare them off, right? And so, your family, if you tell your family too much what's going on, you tell them you get an eviction notice, they're going to tell you, hey, Dr. McFarland, but they're your family. They say, hey, Hector, cut it out, go do something you can be fine with, right? They don't want you staying up at night and worried and stuff. So, but when we're watching a good movie, when we're watching a good story, when there's a documentary, these are the different things through life. So that's how I center my mindset, is that, like yesterday, I had a rough day yesterday, full transparency. And like I said, I recorded a video, upset, tears in my eyes, but I literally had to say at the end of the video, because I know the truth, I was like, 6 months from now, a year from now, this is going to make sense.
Yes, I agree with you, especially because you have that attitude. So you're going to do great. And with that, I want to ask you about how your business is doing. Do you think that you're going in the right way? And talking about technology, because I know that you move into technology to have a more tech-based company within the beauty industry. I heard Megan saying that you are into virtual reality somehow. Why? So you mentioned e-commerce. I don't want to have a brick and mortar store. I want to have something online, sell the product. But I want to use virtual reality. Why virtual reality? What is it that you do with virtual reality?
So what can happen is customers can virtually try on the product. So now they don't have to wonder what color do they wear or anything like that. They can try it on through their camera. And so we have it where they can put their face, they go into our data, and then they're able to put their face in there, and then they're able to try on the products. We did this so then this way, because when you think about buying makeup online, you think, hey, I'm not going to know which color I'm supposed to wear, all of that. This makes it so easy, no questions asked.
Interesting. Very interesting. How was that expensive? Would you make a lot of investment in this application, in this technology?
So would you believe it if I told you that in January of last year, the opportunity came to me and it called me to do it, and that I helped them develop the brows, because brows is like my big product. I helped them develop on how to make it so it can try on brows. But the developers, the company that did it, the ones I did the partnership with, they reached out to me. So, I can, my faith, I can only give glory to God, like I can only attracting these things is just, when you start to do that kind of work, when you have a vision, you can see yourself doing certain things. You don't always have to have the resources right there, but they'll come. And that's what happened. That opportunity reached out to me. They said they saw my company out there. Again, back to that PR, right? That could be that public relations. That could be that PR that caught their attention. And then they came to us and said, hey, we have this new technology. Can we test it out with your brand? Let's do it.
So you partner with them, with a company that has the technology.
Yep.
And has that brought you more sales or more customer satisfaction, more, more benefits to your company?
Yeah, it's brought more satisfaction, more customers. It's brought innovation, and it's made us an innovation leader. And it made us an innovation leader because this opportunity came at the beginning of 2020. We launched it in March of 2020. We literally were launching it at South by Southwest. 2020, South by Southwest got canceled.
Yes.
And we still launched it because what was it? Virtual trial. We didn't need to be in person to do it. So we literally were launching COVID-proof way for you to try on makeup, because when COVID hit, you couldn't even try on makeup anymore. If you go to the store right now, you can't try on their makeup. So This is COVID-proof. So literally I was launching it at the time where this was going to happen, where the pandemic happened.
So the pandemic didn't affect you then? Or not as bad as other beauty companies?
No, the pandemic accelerated our business.
Oh, really? But people were not going out, probably you will tend to think that people don't need makeup. Women don't need makeup because you're in lockdown.
But we're on this camera. We're on video.
Ah, okay.
And we can see our face very good on here.
Yes. Okay, agree.
That's why they needed it. That's why they needed it.
Nice. So you think that technology makes a difference versus your competitors? Does give you a differentiation? Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it. I want to talk now. I was reading, by looking at your website and reading about you and now what you're mentioning about your company and about your attitude. I want to talk about entrepreneurship and diversity. So you already shared with us the type of business you have, that you're using technology, that it was not easy, but you were not scared of starting a business. But do you think there are more challenges for being a woman of color? That's one question. And if you feel that you have more challenges because of that, how you overcome this to be now where you are? And two, talking about, you talk about people. Actually, I was reading the values of your company, which are, I love the values of your company. Be kind to people, supporting women, building and serving an inclusive community, promoting the health for the customers and their communities.
Yes.
Be kind with the planet. I love that one too.
Yes.
So how important is diversity for you, inclusion for you in your organization? Do you think that we should be more diverse in our businesses? But I want to go with the first question first. What challenges as women of color have you faced? Have you faced any? What type of challenges? How you overcome those challenges? You mentioned how small is the percentage of money that you can get for funding to fund your company compared with the rest of the businesses in the country. So I don't know, what are your thoughts about this?
Yeah. I think that, I talked about that funding gap,
Yes.
and there is a wealth gap as well. But then there are things that just let you know to be hopeful. Black women opening up business 3 times the rate of white males. Black women are becoming the most degreed women, academic agreed. I think that for me, I don't subscribe to the statistics. It's good to know them. Remember what I talked about? Sometimes you're taught fear, you're taught different things, you're taught to de-risk. And I think for me, I'm just like, look, I know what the statistics are. I understand that it's good to know, but that will not dictate my actions that I take. It'll make me aware. So I can make certain choices and things like that, but it will not stop me from doing what we like set out to do, because there's other ways to do it. It's not just one way to do it. And so even with our own business, the company that ships our products, like we ship direct to consumer on our website, lameekbeauty.com. And the company that I have shipping the products is a Black woman-owned company. She has a shipping and logistics company, and that's what she does. She ships out e-commerce companies' products. It's called a 3PL in our business. And I use her business to do that. So I make sure, those kind of businesses on my team is diverse. I have team members from Ecuador, team members from Mexico, team members from different parts of the country, colors, like I'm also inclusive around who we team up with and who we partner with. And I think that, if you look at my advisors and my team and my partners, is very diverse, even around abilities, rather disabled in certain areas or whatever, all of that kind of stuff. And I think that for me, it's just about being inclusive as a company, the same way you want other people to be inclusive with you. But I think that also, if you look at the statistics around Black women in business, and on average, a Black woman business does annually $24,000, the average Black woman owned business. Again, if I look at a lot of that, then, it'll stop you, right? But you have to remember that you can be the change, that we can work together to be the change. And I also don't let that sort of like stop me. I have done pitch competitions to raise money for my company, because with a product company, you do need capital to produce the products and to market and to do all of that stuff and have a team. So I've done pitch competitions. I have went after grants to get the funds for our business. I've even done crowdfunding to get money, for our business.
Have you been successful in, to get funds that way? Pitch competitions, crowdfunding, where to go? How do we know where a pitch competition is? How you find out where they are? What is the best way to do crowdfunding, for example? What is crowdfunding, by the way?
So crowdfunding is where you put up rewards, and your company, basically you put up rewards and people can contribute to get the reward. Okay. And so basically, some of us grew up in church and you pass the plate around and everybody put money in there and pull a pool of money together. Or you got an organization in the community and y'all want to raise money for the football team. Everybody puts in, right? It's basically how the crowdfunding goes, but it's just people will get some type of reward or something like that in exchange for what they contribute. They don't get any equity. You're not giving away any of your company. This is pure contributions and sort of like donations, but or sometimes they're purchasing, like I said, like a t-shirt or something, but maybe you charge them $50 for the t-shirt, and maybe the t-shirt only costs you $10, but that's the point. You're supposed to make some type of profit so you can put it towards the funding of your business.
Yeah.
So I have several resources that I want to give out. There is one called I Fund Women. That's who I crowdfunded on, a platform called I Fund Women. I'm gonna put it in the chat.com.
Okay.
And then there's one called fundblackfounders.com. That's a crowdfunding campaign, rewards-based crowdfunding campaign for Black founders. I Fund Women is for women or people that identify as women, non-binary as well. Then there's something called Kiva. I think it's kiva.org. This is where you can raise money for your business, and it's sort of like a loan, but it's like a crowdsourcing. So basically this one, you crowdsource the money, people contribute, but they're putting up a loan for you. So say for instance, it's $5,000, because I've given to these campaigns before. It's a campaign. Think about a GoFundMe or something like that. And you give in towards the campaign, but this one is a loan. So you're actually going to get your money back. As a business owner, you pick your terms, and the people get paid back from contributing to your campaign. And then to get connected, for me, it's been about community. So there's something called New Voices Foundation. It's a great resource for people to get on and to get in community with. And then if you don't know about Hello Alice, helloalice.com.
Wow,
this is another one.
That's very good information. Very, very good. I didn't know about these websites and these organizations. That's very good to know. I think it's going to be very helpful for our audience today if they want to start a business. So with that, so that's how you raise funds. Pitch competitions, where you can find these events, and how you register, or how you is by invitation. How does that work?
Get on those email lists of all those companies I put in the chat. That's how I found out. That's how I found out about it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And the name, someone asked me in the chat, what's the name of the Black woman-owned shipping company? And it's called Ship Black. And basically Black stands for businesses learning and collaborating for knowledge. But it's called Ship Black, and the owner is called, her name is Tiffany Townsend. So just heads up. Okay, I put that in the chat for them.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for sharing this very important information. So going back to your business, so you think you're successful with your business today?
Absolutely, absolutely. We got so much further to go, but we're successful because we're still living and breathing and doing it as a business, and accomplishing things, and people are using our products right now, and it's making a difference in their life. You know, we get testimonials all the time. We get great reviews on our website. That means success to me, is how it's making a difference in people's lives.
How do you design your products? I know that one of your values, the company values that you have, are related to taking care of the planet. You care about the planet. What do you, how you reflect that in your business? So, I was reading about your products. What are the ingredients of your products? Why are they aligned with caring about the planet? Why? Yeah, so,
you know, this is our Revelation Brow Duo. This is our hero product, and the ingredients in the brow powder and the cream that goes underneath to highlight it, it's made from 88% natural and certified organic ingredients. And that part matters, right? And then we use paper packaging. So this is more eco-friendly and more kind to the planet versus just sort of like being wasteful around the actual packaging and not having anywhere to go. And then we just use less packaging as possible.
Okay.
We're also FSC certified with our packaging. We promote different ways for customers to use our product, to also cut down on waste and things like that as well. So that's some of the ways that we're like making a difference. And as we grow and become more powerful and more successful, we can make even more changes to the planet, because I definitely think there is a waste problem in the beauty industry.
So what are the secrets to success? I would like you to share with us, what do you think are the secrets for a successful, to be a successful entrepreneur? And what are the main learning lessons that you have had that you can share with our audience as part of our conclusion for this? But what are the secrets to success from your point of view?
Being flexible. I think it's about being flexible. One of the secrets to success is understanding that being flexible is a huge part behind a lot of people's success. Sometimes the biggest opportunities for me and for our business have come the day before it was supposed to happen. And you had to act like yes or no, or are you coming or not, or whatever it is. You got to be flexible. You can't just go, hey, well, we didn't have that plan. And, and you're so strict that you don't take advantage of the moment. So then it can push your business forward. So being flexible is so important.
Okay.
I think that's a huge secret to success. Also, I think, having the greater purpose for your business is a secret to success. It's not about you. What is it really about? What is the greater calling for your business and for what you're working on? Why are you trying to do what you're trying to do? Why do you stay up all night? Why? Why are you researching? What was the point? So having that bigger purpose and bigger calling is another secret to success.
To have a purpose as a business.
Yeah.
Right? I love that. So with that, let me stop you. We have still 6 minutes. And if the audience have any question, please, you can write it down in the chat room and we will read it here. But in the meantime, so having a purpose is one of the secrets to success. I've been discussing with my students, the students that connected today, and we discussed the importance of having a purpose. If we want to see it from the marketing perspective, new generations are caring more about social issues, right? So having a purpose, trying to change the issues of and support movements like to somehow reduce the problem of racism or sexism or gender inequality, for example, taking care of the planet. Would you consider that, as part of your strategy to support movements that to tend to reduce this type of issues as part of your business positioning? Do you think that businesses play a role in the change of these social issues, or should we leave the change of these social issues to society per se, and we just concentrate as business on profits? So will you say that business play a big role and they should have a purpose then?
Absolutely. It's people, and and then profits, like, without the buy-in of the people, without the commitment of the people. Right now, I'm part of the millennial generation, and I could tell in my own ways, like certain brands I don't buy because of how they position, how they're like, what their owners do, what they contribute to, all of that. I'm the same way. So, I think that, I understand Generation Z and all of that, having that same type of mindset. Like, yeah, we buy totally different now. The stuff I used to buy, when I was a teenager 20 years ago, is not the same stuff I'll buy right now, just based on social issues.
Excellent. There is a question here from Don Casanova. Is in 2018, when you closed your store, how were you able to keep your customers? Did you keep your customers? Or?
I did keep some of them done. So what I did was I wrote a heartfelt letter to them. I wrote a letter and I put it in an email. And I started to tell that story. In 2018, I was on billboards in Houston because I attended Houston Community College and I got my aesthetics license there. That's like a facial license. And I also went there. They had like this business course that they had that Goldman Sachs did in partnership with some community colleges. And I went through that. Well, Houston Community College, their marketing director, I knew her. She reached out to me. She said, hey, would you be a part of this marketing campaign we're doing? Because you went to Houston Community College and we want to show you, you were a successful business owner. And so I said, okay. Well, when I was closing my store in 2018, just imagine you're still riding around the city and you seeing my face on billboards, right? And promoting that school, but also promoting me as a businesswoman. And so when I wrote my letter to my customers, I was letting them know, hey, I see more for what we're building through working with my customers for 14 years, day in and day out, and working in my store day in and day out. I see what you guys need. I see what we need. And I've got to go out and build that for us. That's how I talk to my customers. I talk to them like real people, like we cool, like, like we have a relationship. And you know what? I got so much good feedback from that. I wanted to disappear and just go away and figure stuff out. But different opportunities start to come to me. I was so visible during that time as well. And I also did something where, because I was coming out to Austin, I was a part of tech accelerators there in Austin because we didn't really have those here in Houston at the time. And so I went out to Austin. I joined a tech accelerator called Div Inc. And then I did Sputnik ATX. That's where I got my first investment check from. And they're a venture capital firm in Austin. And every week, well, probably about every 2 weeks to a month, I would come back and host little coffees and share the information that I learned about building a tech startup with my entrepreneur friends and just different women who maybe didn't know about it, and men. And I would just host little coffees and share with them what I was learning out there in Austin about tech startups. So again, it's all about the way that you sort of carry yourself and how you do things. I was able to keep some of those customers because I didn't just run away from them. I just told them what was going on and kept their emails, kept sending them stuff and that kind of thing. And also too, Daniela, I saw your question in the chat earlier. You asked me, after reviewing your website, do you believe having the interactive quiz helps bring in more customers due to their attraction of being a participant? Yes, I think it does. So we also have on our website, Dr. McFarland, where people can take a quiz and get recommended the right brow product for their face. And that just makes it easier so they don't have to think about it. And yes, we do get good response from that. And they feel confident ordering it because it got recommended to them through the quiz. But yeah, and Don, that was a really good question.
Thank you, Kim. It's 5:30, 31 actually. I think we're over time, but I want to thank you, Kim, for your participation, for accepting the invitation. We really appreciate in the School of Business and Technology, Huston-Tillotson University, people like you sharing your experience with our students, with our community is very, very important, very inspiring, and very motivational. So I really appreciate your participation. And I don't know if Dr. Thompson, you're here. If you want to say something, if not, oh, Dr. Thompson is here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. McFarland. And thank you, Kim. We really appreciate this. I just appreciate the fact that we reached out to you and you had no hesitation to do this for our students. And we really do appreciate that. We're trying to, just like you did, trying to push our students to see a different avenue, to understand that there's more ways to be successful than just going to college and getting a degree and starting to work for someone else. So I think this was very enlightening. I think your story should resonate well with our students to let them see that you don't have to come from everything. You just have to have that grit, as you talked about, to be successful. And I hope that our students take this opportunity to follow you on LinkedIn and follow you on other social media so that they can learn more from you. But on behalf of our president, President Burnett, and really the entire university, thank you for taking this time to be with us today. And we look forward to further conversations with the School of Business and Technology. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Thank you.
No problem. Bye.
Congratulations. Thank you, everyone. Have a great afternoon, great night. Bye-bye.